Hello, welcome to Remediation lesson number 4 for numbers and operations. The objective for this lesson is that students will be able to simplify order of operation expressions with 100% accuracy. The first definition that we need to talk about before we go into the 3 examples, or the first question I should say, is what is the order of operations? So you're probably familiar with "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." I am going to change the P to a G, and I'll explain in a minute why. So instead of "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," we're going to use "gemmed us." So we're just changing the P to a G. The G represents grouping symbols. So grouping symbols could be braces, brackets, or parentheses. So in the order of operations, you want to make sure that you are simplifying or calculating what is in the grouping symbols first, and then move on to the E, which we'll get to. So instead of P, which was parentheses, we're going to use G, which represents any type of grouping symbols, brackets, braces, or parentheses. The E represents exponents. So the second thing that you want to do is simplify the exponents. For example, if we had 3 squared, we know that we're going to write the base twice because 2 is our exponent. So we would simplify this as 3 times 3, which is 9. So grouping symbols first, and then exponents. The third operation, I'm actually going to say the M and the D together. So M is multiplication, and the D is division. So you want to take care of multiplication and division in order from left to right. So it does not matter what comes first. The M and the D can be interchangeable. If you have a problem and all you have left is multiplication and division, if division comes first from left to right, you want to calculate that first. And we will do several examples like this that involve multiplication and division. The last 2 are addition and subtraction, and the same rule applies for addition and subtraction. Once you take care of all of the multiplication and division, you want to take care of addition and subtraction, and this also goes in order from left to right. So you want to make sure that you're calculating this from left to right. Okay, so for the order of operations, we're going to use gemmed us. Grouping symbols, and then exponents, multiplication and division in order from left to right, addition and subtraction also in order from left to right. Okay, let's go through our 3 examples using gemmed us. Okay, so example 1, 48 divided by, in parentheses, 5 minus 3 squared times 8. So the first thing that we want to do here is take care of our grouping symbols, which is right here. Remember, we're using gemmed us, and I'll write that over here. So we're using gemmed us. G is grouping symbols. We're going to take care of that first. So I'm going to rewrite the problem. It's going to end up looking like an upside down triangle once we are completed, or once we complete the problem. So 5 minus 3 is 2. I'm going to leave it in parentheses until we take care of the exponent. And we need to rewrite the multiply or the times 8. So again, we used the G. We took care of the grouping symbols. 5 minus 3, which is 2, and leave the exponent there. Second step is exponents, which is E. So we're going to take care of our exponent, which is right here, which tells us to multiply the 2 times. So I'm going to rewrite 48, rewrite the division sign. 2 times 2 is 4, so we are going to write down 4 here, and then rewrite the times 8. Okay, so the next step is multiplication and division, and these go together in order from, I'm just going to write an L and an R, from left to right, okay? So all we have left in this problem is multiplication and division. We're going in order from left to right. So we're going to start with the first 2. 48 divided by 4 is 12. So I'm going to write down 12. And then we are going to rewrite the times 8. Okay? So again, in order from left to right, you take care of the first two, compute that, and then rewrite the last term. 12 times 8 is our last step, which is 96. So our answer to this order of operations problem is 96. We did not have to get to addition and subtraction here, so don't worry about that in this problem. Okay, so that was example 1. Let's move on to example 2. And I am also going to write down gem dust for you guys on this problem. Okay, this is similar to example 1, and on your foresight exam they are similar to this as well. First thing that we want to do is take care of the grouping symbols. So here's grouping symbol number 1, which are the parentheses. We have 7 minus 1, which we will subtract first. So I'm going to rewrite the 36 as well as the division sign. 7 minus 1 is 6. I'm going to leave that in parentheses until we use the exponent, and then rewrite the times 5. Okay, second step, after you take care of the grouping symbols, is to go to the exponent. Here's our exponent, and what that means is that we have 6 times 6, which is going to change to 36. So I'm going to simplify 6 times 6, which is 36, rewrite that, and then we are left with division and multiplication. So we are down to this step. We are going in order from left to right. So we are going to take care of 36 divided by 36 first, which is 1. So rewrite the times 5. We're left with 1 times 5. And of course, you should all know the answer is 5 to this one. What I meant to mention in example 1 is when you are done, your problem somewhat represents an upside down triangle. So you want to make sure that you're always, each step is getting smaller as you go. It's kind of like you're losing one of the terms. So you want to make sure that your problem looks like this. I recommend and suggest that you write down all the steps for the order of operation problems. It'll help you to make sure that you don't make any mistakes. So again, the answer to number 2 is 5. Okay, one more example for this lesson, which is 128 divided by 5 minus 1, all squared, times 7. And I'm going to write down gem dust. I know I've written it a lot here, but I'm going to write it down one more time for this problem. And I suggest that you write this down anytime you're doing order of operations so that you remember this. So the G we're going to start with, which is grouping symbols, we're going to take care of that first. So I'm going to rewrite the 128. Inside grouping symbols, I'm going to compute 5 minus 1, which is 4. Leave the exponent next to it, and then rewrite the times 7. Okay, next step, we're going to take care of exponents. 4 squared, which is the same thing as saying 4 times 4, which is 16. So here was our exponent. I'm going to rewrite the 128 divided by 4 times 4 is 16, all times 7. Again, just like in the previous 2 examples, we are left with just multiplication and division, which we are to calculate in order from left to right. 128 divided by 16 is 8. We are going to rewrite the times 7. And then our last step is going to be to calculate 8 times 7, which is 56. Again, this problem also looks like an upside down triangle. The solution to example 3 is 56. Okay, so this ends the order of operations lesson. And this was remediation lesson number 4 for numbers and operations. We have one more lesson in this series. Thank you.